What's up, cleaning bosses? Welcome back to the podcast, the number one place giving you all of the resources to help you become the ultimate cleaning boss. And as every episode is, today is brought to you by Nine Media Creative, a marketing agency, full service marketing agency designed to give you business results through social media, and also the Cleaning Boss app. So go to mycleaningboss.app and start your free trial. Today, we got a really special guest today, so we're gonna get this intro out of the way really quick and bring him on because I'm super excited to have him in the house. Let's get into the podcast.
Look, this for all my boss babes. Go do your boss thing. Loving how you boss, babe. This for all my dreamers and my doers and all the entrepreneurs. Just believe in what you're doing and pursuing. Look, this for all my boss babes. Go do your boss thing.
All right, cleaning bosses. Today's guest is extremely special. I'm honored to have him on the podcast. This man left a career in pharmaceutical sales to go all in on his cleaning business, and within a year, he was making over $30,000 a month in recurring revenue for his business, using his expertise in sales that he got from his pharmaceutical sales experience. So, I can't wait to pick his brain and see what kind of value he can help us provide here on the podcast today. You guys, I need y'all on your best behavior. Show this person how the love and support that comes from the Cleaning Boss family, man. And welcome one of my favorite people in this industry, Brandon Orr, man. How you doing today, man?
The boss. What's up, man? What's up, DJ? What's up, boss fam? Appreciate it, man. Definitely humbled, and I appreciate the invite.
Absolutely, man. We're so grateful to have you here today. I had the pleasure of running into you at the CBN conference 2024 earlier this year. Had the honor of sharing the stage with you, and this is definitely one of the coolest brothers I've ever met. So, thank you so much again for being on the podcast. And just to get started, man, I don't like to go straight into business when I talk to people. I kind of like to see how things are going. How's your health and well-being doing? Are you okay? How are the 7 closest people to you in your life? How is their health and well-being? Generally, just how are you doing, man?
Man, that's a great question. That's the first time I actually got asked that on any interview, bro. So
It's what
I
matters, right?
appreciate.
That's what you really care about. Those are the things you really care about. Like there's usually like
Yeah,
5 to 7 people that you actually like really you care if they're about their health and well-being. That usually affects how you are as a person. Yeah, so that's kind of what I
definitely.
like to start with.
Definitely, bro. And I'm glad you asked because I'm a self-proclaimed like mental health advocate, bro. So
I
I'm
love
big
it.
into health and wellness, especially mental health, man, especially amongst, men of color with all the challenges that we face and things that we got to face out in the world, man, and still be able to perform at a high level. Um,
Absolutely.
no matter what type of day you're having, no matter what's going on in the family, no matter what's going on, upstairs in your head, you still gotta be able to perform at a high level. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
glad you asked,
absolutely.
but I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I got the family is good, wife and 2 girls. We all good, man. Preparing for a big move. So moving back to Chicago. We're in Dallas right now.
So that's a big move. Okay,
Yeah,
what
so moving back home, man. That's where it all started. So Dallas has
nice.
been good to us, and now it's time to get back to our home territory and get it in up there. So
I like it. I like it, man. That's beautiful. I know that's be a big change for everybody moving to such the large distance. So that's always. I know that's gonna be an event, man. That sounds stressful. I'm not excited. I'm gonna have to do it eventually myself when I make my way back to New Orleans. But I got the Seattle to New Orleans trip, but
hmm
I'm not looking forward to it. I know it's gonna be stressful, so I don't envy you right now.
yeah, stressful it is. Yeah, 100%.
So you were a drug dealer?
Yep, definitely a drug dealer, man.
The license to sell drugs? What
Had a
the
license to
hell
sell.
would make you start a cleaning business in general when you had the license to sell
Man,
drugs, man? You had the golden ticket. What would make
yeah,
you get into the cleaning business?
yeah, yeah, man. It was interesting, bro. Like corporate is interesting, and pharma is interesting in itself. I won't even go down that rabbit hole, but there's a lot of just like on the streets, man. It's a lot of unethical things that's being done on the streets, and it's a lot of unethical things that's being in corporate. As it
People
relates
have learned
to exactly as it relates to drugs. So,
that.
um, But no, man, it treated me well. I learned, I take the meat and leave the bones. I get what I get from it, from the industry, and I utilize it to benefit myself and my business and my family. So I lost everything business related, as it relates to the cleaning business when 2020 came, because we moved to Dallas in 2019, right? And then right after that, COVID came. So I started out as primarily residential cleaning.
Oh, okay. I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, so I didn't, we about 95% residential and 5% commercial. We had maybe a handful of commercial accounts in Chicago, but I didn't know how to build systems or any of that. All of that came just off of me knowing how to sell.
Hmm.
So when COVID came, well, not even when COVID came, but when we moved from Chicago to Texas to Dallas, I didn't really have a system set up. I just told people like, "Hey, this is your account. This is your account." And I just thought people would do, what we all expected them to do.
Clean, yeah. I expect you go in there and clean, right?
Man, no SOPs in place, man. Not like really no system, nothing, like nothing in place, man. So of course that didn't last too long. So but
Yeah,
it
I see
did
that.
feel good to, yeah, it did feel good for the moment to have that, that income coming in. I'm 1,000 miles away and still got a, operation back home. It felt good at that moment.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
I know that does feel amazing. The moment you can actually like set
mhm,
something up and you can kind of see it moving and see it moving. Like it's kind of like it's your baby.
mhm,
Everyone refers to your business as your baby, and like the second you get to see it kick around and move, even if it's shit in its pants, you're like, that's my kid. I love it. It's a great thing. It's
exactly.
beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, that reminds me of kind of my COVID story a little bit because during COVID I lost 70% of my business, and
Yeah.
we were doing some serious business at the time. So this really hurt. This is like our first year where we're kind of projected to do seven figures for the first year was 2020. We're expected to kind of just hit a million.
Right.
And we service, most of our clients were gyms. 70% of our clients were gyms. And those are the
Right.
first things to go. They snatched
Exactly.
out from us. So overnight we went from, we lost 700 grand overnight, like in revenue overnight.
Mhm.
And so it
Yeah.
was tough. It was super tough, and we had all these employees and all this overhead and these bills to pay. We had
Mhm.
vans and trucks all over the place, and so we had to completely change our business model, get rid of a lot of stuff, get rid of a lot of dead weight, and run a way more lean business, especially as far as SOPs are concerned. We really had to shave a lot of that stuff down because
Yeah.
we had to find all of that fat and all of the extra activities and how to streamline things to save time to really get us back into something profitable so we can start to grow again. And but yeah, but COVID was tough for cleaners. Everyone thinks that it was like great, and it was great after a little while. But yeah, people think it was just 100% hunky dory for us cleaners that we all just became super millionaires during COVID, and there was a lot of
Yeah.
that. There were a lot of people who did really well
It
during
was.
COVID. But yeah, for most of us who are already in business, when the world stops, that's gonna shake. It shook everything for me. So
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. And I'm glad to hear that, that you bounced back from that, because a lot of people didn't, especially in the cleaning, industry, didn't know how to pivot. And I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's one of the
exactly.
best traits you can have in business is being able to pivot. So
And I think that's a benefit for like being like, the type of entrepreneurs and coming from places like where we come from, Chicago, New Orleans, and seeing what it's really like to like not have a shot. And when we feel like we got a little bit of a shot, we take a nap. We
mhm,
bounce back. Like
absolutely.
we've seen failure. We've seen what the bottom looks like. So being there don't really phase us. So
Nope.
like when I hit like rock bottom in my business, I was still making more money than I ever made in my life,
Right.
like before being a business owner. So it was
Right.
like I had mentally fell off. Like I was like, I'm still cooking. Like
Right.
so,
For real.
yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
having that ability to kind of bounce back, that resilience is key in
Mhm.
business. Because
It
a lot
really
of
is.
it's just gonna be smooth sailing, and when you get started, and I'm gonna start a business, and and then I'm gonna change my life, and everything's gonna go great, and they don't realize that it's more headache than you having a job where the stress is on somebody else when you get to clock in. But
Serious.
everything, something goes wrong, somebody mouths off to your client, or something, something happens. That's all on your back. So you
Yep.
end up thinking about it all the time, stressing about it all the time, and then, it's just as involved as having a 9 to 5.
Yep.
You
100%.
common
Hundred
misconception.
percent. Yep. 100%. I'm
So
glad you said that too.
Yeah. So for cleaning in particular, why cleaning? Why cleaning in particular? Why not go into lawn care or drop shipping or SMMA? Or why not any of those other avenues? Why clean? Why did cleaning stick out to you?
Yeah, man. So when I was in college, I was a leasing agent. So I went to school at Southern University in Baton Rouge. So
Okay.
I got
Yeah.
some
Yes.
experience
Yes.
in
Yes.
Louisiana.
The boot. The boot. Yeah. That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking about. My
yeah,
grandfather went to Southern.
yeah. So I spent some time in the boot, but so I was a leasing agent, and the vendors, the painters, I saw everybody come in to do the turnarounds on the apartments, on the units. The painters, the handyman, the carpet cleaners, the actual cleaning company coming in. And one company, guy named Bishop Raymond Capville. I'm a shout him out every single time I get the chance down in Baton Rouge. But Bishop Raymond Capville
Shout out to
and his
Bishop.
wife, they were one of our vendors who cleaned the apartments. So and they did really great work. Yeah, he did great work. He used to always come in there. I lease apartments because I like commission, right? I like sales. It
Hmm.
was sort of like real estate to me, and I like the commission. So he would always come in. He knew I went to Southern, and he would just drop little gems on me, like, "Man, Brandon, I know you're going to get your degree, but think about entrepreneurship. Think about running your own business. Think about." He used to always, drop little gems on me, and it always stuck with me. And then
Hmm.
one day I heard him, I heard him saying, I think he was upset about something or whatever, but we probably was late paying. I'm probably knowing, you know what I mean. That with the residential apartment thing, that's
Hmm.
like one of the most common things. But and he and I were talking, and that was when we actually got a chance to actually, build a relationship. So
Yeah.
he's like, "Man, I run six figures with this business." I'm like, "Really?" I didn't. I had no clue. I was like, I had no clue.
You
They
can
don't
do
teach you
that.
that in college. I'm in college learning something totally different, and my major is business management. I didn't learn anything about the service-based industry at all. The gentleman who came in, who had a painting company, he's come in with his overalls and his tie and his shirt and his, you know, real sharp young guy. Like I think he was younger than me, maybe. And had a painting company. I'm like, damn, you got a painting company, really? Like people like really got the business going on. Um, so I told Mr. Raymond, I'm like, man, when I graduate, I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna look into that. So it just stuck with me ever since then. And when I graduated and went back home to Chicago, teamed up with my sister, and I used to watch this guy on YouTube way back in the day. Um, I forget his name, but he used to always talk about property preservation, like
Mm,
foreclosure cleanup. Like that was a big thing back then.
yeah,
So that's what we started the company as back then because the market was there was a lot of foreclosures going on around that time. So that wasn't really scalable and it wasn't really the type of business that I kind of wanted to run. So, and then I had partners. I had my sister and one of my frat brothers as my partner. We all had 9 to 5, so it took up too much time and it kind of dwindled down. But when I relaunched it as just straight residential house cleaning after I relaunched it and
yeah.
just got out there.
It reminds me of kind of like how I got started, at least on the YouTube side. Like I forget that cleaning wasn't like a janitorial service. I stumbled into that exact model. I tried everything before that. Like a lot of people on my from my channel know that I did some post construction cleaning. I do post construction cleaning, and that was one of the first things I focused on. But even further back than that, before I even started like recording or documenting the process, I used to watch Keith Kalfas on YouTube. Right, I think he's known for landscaping nowadays, but before he did landscaping very seriously, he was a window cleaner. He was a window
Right,
cleaner. And I'm watching, I'm looking up for the cheapest things to start because like most people know my story. I was homeless. So I'm looking for damn near free things to start.
right,
Like I used to not
right,
cost me anything. And so it was, I think I may have cleaned somewhere and got like, a couple $100. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna just get some window, a bucket and a scrub and a squeegee so I can at least clean some windows and make some money. And that was kind of how I started. And the more I looked into the different types of cleaning on top of window cleaning, I went into janitorial. And then I think during a post-construction job, I almost fell off a roof trying to clean a window. And then from that moment on, I was like, I don't touch windows.
I'm
So
out.
I was like, I not touch windows. No one in my company touches windows because it
Yeah.
just me. So so now we outsource that. But yeah, that was kind of how I even stumbled in, because once you're in the service industry, you're looking at all these other services and you start to notice
Right.
that people are making money and moving in this space. But yes, but speak in terms of education, like how did you go about looking for education to learn things about this business and to educate yourself? Where did you get that stuff from? Because you did say you went to school for business management, which I did too. I went to school first for electrical engineering, and then I transferred schools and went for business management. I didn't finish either one, but yeah, I didn't learn much about how to actually run a business in business school, and that was the same way for me. So how do you go about getting educated in this business?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. YouTube, bro. Like, so YouTube, I reached out to Mr. Raymond. Again, I let him know, hey, I'm back home in Chicago. I'm ready to get this thing started. What do I need? So he like emailed me some documents that I needed, like, some hiring documents, just the basic documents of what he had for his cleaning business. And, I appreciate that to this day. I still appreciate that. But um, I was on YouTube, man. That college didn't really teach me, how to run a business, even being a business management major. Um, Everything that I wanted to learn, I learned from YouTube. I didn't learn, in college. But what college did teach me was, um, it taught me how to kind of work with teams, work with others. It taught me. I was very introverted. I'm still kind of introverted. A lot of people don't think I am. My wife don't even think I'm an introvert because I could walk up to a stranger and spark up a conversation and things like that. But I was very introverted. It wasn't until college where I kind of broke out of my shell, like my last few years of college.
Yeah.
Um, so college taught me other things, like non-tangible things that I kind of use in different settings. But as far as business and practical knowledge, like the practical everyday knowledge that you need, just the basic stuff of business, I learned that on YouTube, especially in as it relates to the cleaning business industry as a whole. So watching, cleaning business videos. I only watched a few people. AJ Simmons was everywhere on that thing. You were on there back then. Yeah, I stayed with a few people. I kind of narrowed it down. I didn't like watch a lot of people. I just stuck to kind of people who I related to and people who were at the place that I wanted to go. So that's pretty much it, man. And I did some time in network marketing. I think network marketing is good if you really want to, learn how to hustle. I already knew how to hustle, but network marketing actually pushes you to that next level of being uncomfortable.
Okay.
So I was in network marketing for a while, learn how to build teams. Because you got to recruit and do all that type of stuff. You got to do cold sale, direct sales, and it's uncomfortable, but if you could get past that, man, the sky's the limit. And that's what I still tell people today. Like, you don't have to cold call. you know that's only one way of getting business for your cleaning business. There's only one route.
One
But what
system. That one
yeah,
system.
it's so many different ways to get it. But cold calling, it's not just to get business for your cleaning business. It's actually to help you to become more comfortable with talking to people. It helps you to become, it builds you character. It helps you to, when you're in person with somebody, the conversation won't even be that hard now because you
Yeah,
you
exactly.
spoke to people,
Same
strangers
time.
over the phone before. So now this in-person interaction, that's nothing. You walking into a facility or a building, marketing your cleaning services is nothing now. That's a piece of cake because you talked on the phone to a total stranger and that's an uncomfortable conversation, you know. So
So it's a workout. Like it's a. I tell people all the time, you got to exercise that muscle. Like if you sound nervous talking about your business, it may not be because you don't necessarily believe in your business. You could just be nervous because you haven't talked about your business that much. Like if I've said the same spiel about my business a thousand times, when I go to say it to the next person, it's going to come out like fluid, and then it's easier for me to give off that I believe in this thing that I'm selling, because I've said this a million times. That part just gets easier and easier. And everyone, that fear of getting started or failing those first few times, really keeps people out of it. But I'm like, that's the part you have to go through. Is you have to push through those difficult times, and go through the ugly messing up phase for you to actually gain those skills. It's just a muscle. You work it out like any other muscle group on the body. It's just exercise.
Perfect way, man. Perfect way to put it. That's exactly what it is. That's
Hmm.
exactly.
Absolutely. Let's see, where were we in our question? Oh, yeah, you were talking about YouTube. Yeah, YouTube University. That's another thing I preach too. Is go to YouTube University. If there's something that you do not know, it's probably available on YouTube. Like everything that I've ever learned is on my channel, and like most
Mm-hmm.
of the things that I've even the things that aren't on my channel, all the things that I'm thinking about doing is probably something I got from somewhere on YouTube. I definitely,
For real.
only thing I learned in business school was that it was a business. Like I
Right.
realized that they were making a good bunch of money. And I was like, this is a solid
It's
ass business plan. Y'all got
for
to go
real.
along.
Like maybe I should start a college. Maybe
Yeah,
I
I was
should
like,
start.
maybe I should start a school. That's literally all the
Right.
talk. Maybe I should start a school, because y'all are
Yeah.
breaking in the dough right now
Yeah.
on my
Absolutely, man.
soul. Because I learned, I think the most valuable thing I learned was, I guess, thinking through a business plan. I think that was like the only thing that was of any like
Yep.
somewhat value. And I didn't like, since then I haven't written a business plan since college, but it got me
Right.
to like get used to thinking through a full process, right? Like, because
Right.
if you make an official business plan, there's full processes and full
Hmm.
like full like prediction models and stuff like that for revenue and things like that. And so it forces you to
Hmm.
think from the beginning to the end, and how you're gonna get
Yeah.
there. And so I think thinking that way was kind of one of the biggest things I was able to take away from college. But in terms of business, I've learned everything in business that I needed to know from YouTube or from trial and error, and just getting out here and getting after it.
Yep.
Uh,
Hundred
that's
percent.
Yep,
Yep.
that's how it is,
And
man. I've
meeting
been the same.
people. Yeah, I left that out too. And meeting people who attended conferences and
Mhm.
networking. So things like that. So
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Using your network is using your actual immediate network. I usually tell people that's your gimme. Like, you want to get your business off the ground, just getting off the ground. You probably know enough people, like you've met enough people in your life, that someone works somewhere that could use you. Someone's in a
right.
building that could use you, and you exhaust that network, and that's the easiest thing, because you're not selling to strangers at that point. You're selling to someone who knows
Right.
you. You can get a reference, someone who's like, oh yeah, I've actually met this guy. I went to school with this guy. Like, yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Should come. Yeah, at least give him, give opportunity to give us a quote. And but yeah, exhaust your network first. If you're just getting started, that's an easy way to at least get some of that starter revenue going in your business.
Yep.
Because
Alley oop.
that first account is usually the hardest. Did you find that those first accounts for people?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of
that's it.
learning. Yeah, a lot of learning.
So let's see. My next question is, so we went over learning. Oh, yeah. The reason why you're on this damn podcast today, man, is you put a huge emphasis on sales. And this is really what draws me to you as a businessman, because we kind of speak this same language of sales. You come from pharmaceutical sales. I come from B2B sales for cell phone companies, Verizon and AT&T. So in all sales, you usually have those same sales training. You hear the same kind of verbiage, kind of like about closing and overcoming objections. Those are things that are true throughout sales for every industry. And so when you hear someone else talking about that, or someone else who's sold or had a sales job in multiple different industries, we all kind of sound the same. We all kind of like
Right.
we can spot it a mile away. I'm like, okay, that guy knows what it is. That guy knows
Right.
something. That's one of the things that attracted me to you in the very beginning. But I've noticed that you've kind of put this big emphasis on sales. I don't emphasize sales enough, because I feel like it scares people away. But because they're so afraid
It
to actually
does.
do some work. But you put a big emphasis on sales, which I have a huge respect for it. So why? But why do you feel like you put such a big emphasis on sales and that aspect of business?
Yeah, and you know what? Likewise, DJ, I was actually attracted to you in the sense of as soon as we linked up, it was just natural, man. It was just natural. And see, that's what sales does. Just like I said a moment ago, it helps you with your in-person interpersonal skills, right? Because you're forced to adapt to a certain situation, right? Especially when you face to face with people. So I've been in situations before pharma. I sold SaaS software, for 10 years. And, I was in some boardrooms with some big dogs, like heavies, who are running, two, three, $400 million companies. And here I am as a, 28, 29-year-old kid in their eyes. They're already thinking, how can you help me? Right. So being in those uncomfortable situations and having to build value and build it quick, it kind of taught me something. Right. So you really had to build value, find a way to help this guy. And you have to be able to communicate that in a polished way, not just in a polished way, but also in a way to where he could understand it, because this ain't his area. So it's like, those are the parts to it. And it may be a challenge in the beginning, but just like you said earlier, when you lifting weights, you do it so much, it becomes muscle memory. So when I figured it out that the cleaning business industry was pretty much the same as the corporate industry, what I had been doing, for 10 years, that's when the light bulb went off. I'm like, oh shit, this is just like at work. So I put my emphasis on sales. I meet people and show them how I could bring value as a cleaning company, and earn their trust and win the business. Find a way to beat out everybody else. So that's where my strength was. And the situations that I've been able to blessed to be in, over my 10-year career in sales. I've sold in my territory. At one job, I was over like 21 states, so I traveled for sales. So I had a job where they fly me out, put me on a plane, sometimes first class, and I'm going, all over the country to sell. So at that time, I had no clue that it was preparing me for my own operation. I had no clue. I just thought I wanted to move up the ranks. I knew at some point I did want to, own my own company, like seriously, and write out, right? But I just didn't know when that time was coming. So I just thought I was just gonna move up the ranks, save a lot of money, and take a lot of the money, and then start the business, right? Because I always did something on the side, whether it was like selling life insurance or stuff like that. I always had a hustle on the side. I never just had just a job, right? So
Exactly.
I always had that insurance plan on the side. So, but yeah, man. So that's how it kind of evolved into, into a sales sort of powerhouse with me, because it's like no sales, you don't have a business if you don't have sales. And if you look around you now, even on me now, we got cell phones. I guarantee you open up a cell phone, you go on any app, whether it's Facebook, something, within 2 minutes, you're going to see somebody trying to sell you something. Sales is everywhere around us, everywhere. You go to church, it's sales. It's still sales. It's, you know what I mean? It's still sales. They want you to be a part of their congregation, right? They're selling you on why you should be a part of this congregation, right? And it's not a bad thing. That's just the truth. That's the reality. That's what it is. Politicians, it's sales. Here's why you should vote for me. Even the military, hey, come join us. You get these benefits, you get the VA loan package, it's a sale, it's a transaction. It's a transaction.
And even in that, there's ways to do it. Like even if you're recruiting, like there's different things you can, depending on who you're talking to. If you're good at sales, then you're able to pull that information from them, and you get to give them a solution that fits them. So if they're passionate about bettering themselves or bettering their life, then you're selling this military recruitment or like this spot in the military, then you can appeal to that like, hey, this is one of the best places for that. Or if their appeal is to, I want to protect my country, then you get to appeal to that once you find out those things. And
Exactly.
I think that's a big part of sales is being good at getting that information and finding out where you can add value in adding value to that person and using your solution to add value to that person. It's definitely
100%.
one of the things that I absolutely love about sales. I was deeply indoctrinated into the sales culture of America, like out here in Seattle. My very first job was with an authorized retailer for AT&T, and their sales training program was intense. Like it was like, and I'm glad I kind of had that thrown into the ringer type of sales environment to get into, because it was really sink or swim. You needed your commissions, like
Mhm.
your hourly pay wasn't really nothing. You really had to go and get those commissions in order to work. And so I
Yep.
mean, anytime I do anything, I'm balls to the wall with it. I am all out. If when it was sales, it was sales. I went to watching every sales movie. I went into listening to like Brian Tracy CDs and
Mhm.
all the top salespeople in the country and the famous salespeople. I started watching like Boiler Room over and over again, and Thank You for Smoking, and all the sales movies.
Mhm.
I got into it, and I really really studied sales, and and just like you, I had all those different sales jobs, selling insurance and doing Cutco knives and Kirby vacuums
Yep.
and Cox cable, and I've done all of that. Like as a sale, I've
Yep.
done door for all of that stuff. I've done cold calling for all of that stuff, and so what it really did was build up that callus for that no, because you start to realize that
Yeah.
when you're in sales, you start to learn really quickly that it's a numbers game, and so I think most people underestimate the volume you have to do in sales in order to get results. And then
Mhm.
when you work directly in sales, you get over that pretty quick because you gotta be making a lot of contacts and all that. You know that it's just a certain number of no's until you get a yes, and you're just working to that yes. And so once you're in that mode where you can just phase out the no's or overcome some objections and turn some no's into yeses, and you start to see the amount of revenue you can generate, especially for someone else, it's a huge. That was one of the main motivators. Was I was selling for AT&T and I was killing it. I'm pretty sure that I started their B2B program. I'm like I don't even think they were selling like I screwed up the entire commission structure because they like you every 5 phones you sell, they would give you an extra percentage of commission or whatever, another 5% of commission.
Right.
And I ended up going to like when those Nextels came out, those Nextel walkie-talkie phones. Ended up going to all these trucking companies and all the people who had remote workers, and they would buy 30 at a time, 30 phones at a time. And so
Mhm.
my boss didn't know what to do. He was like, I can't pay you this. Like, I can't pay you the commission on this. I don't know what to do. I'm like, nah, run me my check, bro. Like, I'm gonna need
Right. Right.
like run me my check. And then I realized I was like, I could be doing this for myself. I could sell anything. Like if
Yeah.
sales, if I can talk to people, if I communicate my value, if I can figure out what it is that they want, and I can match it with a solution that I have, I can sell anything. And so I fell in love with sales from that moment on, and it's been that big for me, just as big for me. Um,
Yeah.
but but yeah, like I absolutely love sales. It's been sales is the lifeblood of any business. I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
The lifeblood of any business, and I think it can keep a business alive even if you have a bad product.
Yeah.
But what kind of things
Seriously.
do you feel like sales has helped with within your business? Has it done anything in particular where something else may have been falling off?
Yeah, I want to take a step back because you said something very important, and I
Yeah.
don't want to skip over that. But you said, it's a numbers game, and
Oh yeah.
I wanted to take a step back because I just said the same thing to a few people I coach. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's a numbers game, and I also feel like it's not sales that people are afraid of; it's rejection.
Facts.
That's what they are truly afraid of is the
Facts.
rejection piece. They're not afraid of the sale. Who could be afraid of the sale? You get paid to sell.
Yeah.
You get a commission, you get a chunk
Ain't
of it.
afraid of making money. I know that much.
Right. So how could you be afraid of that? So really it's not the sale, it's the fear of being rejected. That's what it is. So if you could get hit, if you get in the boxing ring and you're able to get punched without losing the fight, then you're a winner. That's
Yep.
what I tell them. If you're able to get back up, you're a winner. You can't get in the boxing ring. No, I don't think nobody has ever won a match without getting hit at least one time.
Mm.
If it is, I gotta Google it and find out. But that should be in the Guinness World Record. But you can't get in the game and expect not to get hit. That's just not how it works. That ain't how it works. But if you rebound from that and you're strong enough to take those punches and take those no's, man, that one yes, that next yes could be fuck. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
next yes, dude. That next yes. I took no's, no's, no's. When I switched over to commercial, we landed a couple of accounts. Just me just playing around with the business, and then it was like no, 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 no. And then one of our biggest no's, I was pissed off because the guy ghosted me for like 2 months. But then it turned into like a $7,200 a month. Yes, I didn't give up. That was one account. So I think that's the piece of people being afraid of rejection. And I came from an era, As kids, we used to go chase girls. I don't think they do that no more. I think everything is online now. But we used to
Yeah,
go to the
yeah.
mall.
Gone are the days. But I remember them days, man. When
Yeah,
you
you
like,
go with your
try
boys,
to
you
get
go
that
to the
number, you know what
mall,
I'm saying?
you chase girls, and you get nose, and that's some true character right there, because you got to build up the guts in front of your
Yeah.
boys
In
to
your
go try
face
to talk
protection
to
is
a girl.
different.
And then your boy's gonna laugh at you if you know what I mean.
Yep.
But you move and you go on to the next. That's the era I grew up in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was a
There you
lot of fun, and it built character. It built interpersonal skills. So and
go.
it's the same thing when you're going after these companies, man. You some may say yes, some may say no, and if they say no, so what? Move on to the next one. So it's a million something companies out here, and probably 25% of them make good fits for us,
Yep. Yeah, for
bro.
you in
Like
particular. Yeah.
like we have a huge market share, huge, huge upside. So that's what I tell people, man. And the biggest deal that some people close is being married. I'm like, I was telling a guy, I'm like, bro, what you mean you don't like sales? You're married. That was probably one of the biggest deals you ever
That was
closed
the
in your
biggest one
life.
you had. Yeah, that was the biggest one.
You convinced her to spend the rest of her life with you. That's a big sale.
Yeah, but she don't
you
got
know?
another one of those. She don't get a second life. You know, so that was a hard sell.
You're right.
I guess.
It's not a dress rehearsal,
Yeah.
So I think people overthink it. A lot of people overthink it, man. And that's what I do. Just try to bring practical knowledge, into sales to just get people to not overthink and not overcomplicate it. It's just a
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just a transaction. That's
Exactly,
all.
exactly that. And on that note, I want to bring some value to the audience and give them some help with some sales. Um, Firstly, is there anything like right off the bat that you can tell people, like give some advice with handling that rejection? Like how do they handle, if they say, if they're the type of person who, or just, I guess, initially out of the bat don't like the idea of trying to call someone, and their biggest fear is calling someone and them cussing them out and hanging up in their face. How do you coach someone through having the fear of that getting hung up on, or I upset this person?
Yeah, I think you just have to detach your emotions from it first of all. Don't be emotionally tied to the outcome of whatever happens on that call. Even if they say yes, don't be emotionally tied to it, because then you'll get comfortable and then you'll stop going after more deals.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and we all been there. I've been there.
Oh
I
yeah.
just had a lot of deals though. I was like, all right, I could chill for a minute. I could
Yep.
chill for a month or two. I work really hard, then I'll probably take a month off or something like that.
Hmm.
But even now I'm learning, like, I can't even do that now. I'm not at that stage yet, to
Yeah.
where I can do that. I am, but now I put more pressure on myself.
Yeah,
So
it's there's a certain level of self accountability that comes with being a business owner. That for the people who want to grow and want to get to keep pushing to new heights, they always have
mhm,
that level of accountability, or that self reflection, to where, like, I know if I want to get to where I am, I still can't stop working, even though I'm at a place where other people look at and they want to be. I know that I still got a lot of work to do. So, yeah,
100%.
definitely in that same boat.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%. Yeah, but that's all. Just don't be emotionally attached to the outcome. Do your best to separate your emotions, and it's business. So just with that mindset of, like you said, it's a numbers game. How many calls did you make? You know, Maybe you made 20 calls today. You make 20 calls today. I guarantee you, not all 20 are going to hang up on you. I was just doing live cold calls with some of my mentees on the phone.
yep,
One person hung up on me, but the very next day we found a very good lead.
yep,
Very good lead. They had just got rid of their cleaning company, and the girl who I was talking to on the phone, she was the one doing the cleaning, and I made her tell me she hated it. So, you know, uh, one day you get hung up on, and but you rarely get hung up
people
on
love
in
you.
our industry. You don't. It's not like that, man. So
Yeah,
it's
no, a
either
lot
a
of
no
people have a
or
fear
we're
that's like
fine.
irrational.
Yeah, man. So, but no. So I would just, and keep going, and also what I used to do, man. I don't do it as much as I used to, but man, I would write down my goals, and I would have it right on a whiteboard right
I was
next to me.
literally about to just get into that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
So
having those
I would write it right
yeah,
on so I could visualize it. So anytime I hear a no, it's like, well, I can't stop because I got this goal that I'm trying to hit. Every time I look up, you know, I see this goal, and if that needle is not moving, then I know I got to keep working. Or I have to reevaluate, is there an area in my sales process or in my talk track, that is preventing me from getting appointments, or that is preventing me from, maybe it's you calling on the wrong damn people. Maybe it's you're not calling the right type of companies. Maybe it's you don't have the right tonality on the phone. Maybe you sound too salesy. Maybe you need to role play with somebody else. Or maybe you just need to watch Glenn Ross, or one of the movies, get deeply involved in it, especially in the beginning when you're the sole salesperson. You're the sole salesperson in the beginning. You don't have a regional sales manager or a sales director who you could pay $100,000, to go bring in your business. So it's us, you know,
oh
and
yeah,
even if you buy leads, bro, even if you buy leads and appointments and all of this stuff, you still got to learn how to close the deal.
what's the deal?
You still got to learn. And then what happens is when you learn how to close, and once you increase your closing, ratio, now your cost per lead goes down. Because now before maybe you had to buy, 10 leads to close one, but now you got better at sales and better at closing. Now for every 10 leads, you close like four. Now you just, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, that customer acquisition cost is driving down. Yeah, exactly.
exactly. You see what I mean? So that's why you need to learn it. I can't, man, I can't, I truly can't believe how many people I talk to that are just afraid of sales.
I tell people, if you're afraid of no, if you are afraid of no and you're afraid of rejection, your why is not big enough. Like that means you need to go back and reevaluate your why. Because if
Yeah.
someone telling you no, one person telling you no can stop you, then you aren't doing this for a good enough reason. Because
Yep.
it should be worth it. It should be worth, like, we're talking about trying to get to a 1% lifestyle, like to where
Yep.
you are the head of a business, you are the CEO of a company, you make your money under your own terms, you have enough money to provide for yourself and your family. Not many people get to do that. I know everyone on social media is acting like they do, but most people
Right.
don't live like that. They don't have it like that. So if this is something that you actually want, you're gonna have to do some things that people like, some get into some uncomfortable situations that most people aren't willing to go through, and that's that large amount of rejection. That's most people aren't willing to face that large
Mhm.
amount of rejection. And if it scares you, the rejection scares you, you need a bigger reason to be doing it. Because, like, I don't care if someone tells me no, because I'm doing this for my kids. I don't It's worth you telling me no. I can go through a million no's if I know that one of those yeses is going to help feed my kids. Then I don't care if you tell me no. Like, I'm probably going to try to turn your no into a yes too. And if you still say no, I'm just going to go on to the next person. It doesn't matter, because I'm not doing this to hear yes from you. I'm doing this to feed my kids. So yeah, it's your why has to be big enough. Has to be big enough. You can't fear
100%.
rejection. You got to be doing this, like, it has to be worth it for you. There has to be
Absolutely.
something in it that's worth it for you, that'll make you push past these tough times. Because rejection in sales isn't, like, it's tough, but it's not even the hardest thing you're gonna come across in building this business. Like, so,
No,
like,
it's not.
there's some scarier stuff out here. There's some sharks in
Oh,
these
yeah.
waters for real. So, like, that's
Yeah.
and sales being the lifeblood of your business, it is hard, but it's just one of the first things you got to overcome, because there's plenty of more demons to slay. There's plenty more things to overcome.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
See, I like that. But yeah, sales is a huge part of business. I'm glad we got to chat about that a little bit. Another thing people kind of talk to me about, or tell me is a limiting factor, is that I don't have enough capital to start with. I don't have any money to start my cleaning business. So you haven't been a successful cleaning business. How much capital did you start with? How much money did you have to bankroll in order to get this business going?
Man, I can't remember the exact amount, but it was under $1,000 though. Yeah,
Under a
it was.
thousand dollars.
Yeah, it was under a
I
thousand. I
can
think it was somewhere.
guarantee you have at least $1,000 worth of dumb shit in your house right now.
Right. For real.
You
Absolutely.
got, I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around 500. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 500, but I didn't have so I didn't have a vacuum. So I didn't so my story is kind of hilarious, bro. So I didn't realize that I needed a vacuum until after I told you I started out in residential. So I show up, I got my towels and my bucket and all of that. And then the client asked me about a vacuum. I'm like, oh shit, I don't even have a vacuum. So my girl at the time, my wife, but she was we weren't married at the time, man. So she had this hot pink vacuum, bro. I'm gonna post this picture too tomorrow.
You
She
have
had
to. You absolutely
hot
have to.
pink vacuum, bro.
Hot, hot
So
pink
I'm
back.
like, frig it. I'm gonna just use her vacuum because I'm not buying a new vacuum right now until I start getting some clients. I got to know if this thing gonna work before I go out here and spend all this money. So um, here I go, big tall 6'2" self with a hot pink vacuum, bro, going to houses to clean.
I
Hilarious,
love it.
man.
I
And
love it. I love
what's
it.
funny is my wife and I, we still talk about that to this day, bro. We still talk about the hot
It's
pink
those
vacuum.
times, man. It's those times. I was about to ask you about it, like some of the hard times. It's kind of what I'm getting into next. Is some
Yeah.
of the hard times, but I remember those. I remember those days for me, and I started at even lower than I didn't even have $500. So my first jobs I did with vacuums from people that I knew. Like I would have to yo, you got a vacuum in your house? Let me grab that right quick and pretend like I was using it to clean to clean my apartment or something. And I go and clean the job. I didn't even know of backpack vacuums. Like I had
Me
seen them in
neither.
the background before. I didn't even know they
Me neither.
existed for real until I
Yeah.
got hired for a high dusting job. And they're like, "Well, where's your like the guy was Mexican, he didn't even know English, but he knew I needed a backpack vacuum, and I didn't. He was like, "Where is your thing that you put on?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about, bro?" Like, I'm like, "We're talking about." I was like, "Oh snap! I do need one of those.
Right.
I probably should
Right.
have one." But yeah, my first vacuum. I think I've only told this story once, but my very first vacuum that like belonged to me didn't even belong to me. Like I paid a booster to steal one out of Walmart for me. So that's how low I was. You know, that's how low I was and where I
Right.
started. Like I couldn't. I was like, "Yo, I will give you half of what it costs for you to go get me the nicest vacuum that you
Yeah.
can go and grab out of Walmart." And someone would stole one, and that was I had to get it out the mud. Like you know what I'm saying. People say
Yeah.
like I started from the bottom. Like no, I really did start from the bottom. I
Like
had to get it out
seriously.
of there. Like it's like that. But this is one of those industries where you can do that. Like where you will not. I'm not saying go and steal a vacuum in
Right.
Walmart. Like there's probably a way. Like my young mind made me do some stupid stuff, but like I'm sure you probably have enough sitting around you or in your house or enough resources you can pull together to get the supplies needed to start this type of business.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think I think we can dispel that myth that it takes a whole bunch of capital or ten
No.
thousand, $20,000 to start this business. It just doesn't. It just doesn't.
No. And I'm glad you said that because me and one of my friends was talking the other day, man, and we were talking about just different, business models and strategies. And, today there's so much out there today. And I still harp over the cleaning business. Not that any of the other stuff doesn't work, but
Oh, yeah.
you can't go start any other business for the amount that you probably get network marketing, but that's not fully your business. But,
Yeah.
independently owned by you business for almost nothing. Real estate, you can't do it. You got to have a down payment. You got to, real estate
Yep.
gonna be tough. You got to save up for all of that, and some of the people who are
Anything.
cash flowing,
Even the
they
other
have,
service businesses. You
yeah,
you can't start a landscaping company without a lawnmower. Like you at least need a lawnmower,
you at
and that's
least
gonna
need a
run you two
lawnmower.
hundred. So
Yep. So sweat equity, man. Sweat
yeah,
equity and a few towels. And if it
big
takes
on
that one,
sweat equity.
that's all you need, man. Just sweat equity and a drive to not give up. And also, I love, beginning with the end in mind. Just
Yep.
have some sort of, you know, idea of where you want this business to take you, because nobody just grows, when you're a kid, oh, I want to start a cleaning business. Nobody,
Yeah, no
this
one
is
wrote
not even
that.
that type of industry. Nobody, none of us have, I don't think any of us in the industry have ever said that, but you utilize it as a vehicle to get you to where you really want to go. And that may be freedom, it may be time freedom, and just run a business to not have to wake up and go to work every morning and get told what to do and beg for time off and all this other stuff. Or maybe to invest in real estate, as I know some of my friends did. Or maybe to, there's so many things that you can do with the business and so many routes. Maybe you want to pass it down, and leave it as a legacy. Or maybe you want to build it to sell. Maybe you want to build it, and then maybe you just want to sell it and take that capital and do whatever else you want to do with it. So it's so many different routes, man. And with the entry fee of sweat equity and a little bit of knowledge, man, you can't beat that, bro. Like you just said, even landscaping, you got to have lawnmowers, you got to have tools and supplies. Man, we have the lowest barrier to entry, bro. Like,
Yeah, and most of our and in commercial specifically, most of our customers already have the tools. Like so, like you get. That's why I'm like, people are like, "Oh, yeah, I want to start a cleaning company, but residential seems easier or cheaper." I'm like, man, commercial, like most of the accounts that I have, they started with stuff, a closet full of stuff. Like, yeah, eventually I'll come in there and I'll buy my own things for the things that I like to use. But like when people start businesses, they're just excited as we are about having a new business. So they go and they fill up all their closets with all the cleaning stuff that they could possibly stick in a janitorial's closet. That's something they'd never use. And usually that stuff's just there, and they're just waiting for a cleaner to come and grab it and use it because they know they run a business, so they're ready for that part. But they're just as excited as we are. I opened this office. I went and filled it up with stuff that I haven't touched since we moved in here. But I was just excited to have an office, so I'm getting pens, and I haven't written something down in 10 years, and I bought 3 packs of pens to have in the office for no fucking reason. Like, people just are like that. But
facts. That's exactly how it is. Yep.
yeah. Usually don't need a lot of. Doesn't take a lot of capital. Doesn't take a lot of like money. You can really get into this business and get right to it, and especially leaning on something like sales. Like if you can sell, you can get your money up front. You can get whatever you need after you close your first deal and you get that money. You get to go shopping for your business. Kind of my favorite thing to
Absolutely.
do.
Yep. Absolutely.
So a little bit more on the hard times. Can you tell me a time? Can you recall a time where you feel like you were in this business and it wasn't going to work? Did you feel like was there ever any doubt in your mind or a spot that you feel like, man, this might not actually work out?
Hell yeah, man. It's been a few times, but one that I always reflect on is there was a time this was when I first started too. Man, I was so I did the dumb move. I quit my job like cold turkey, right? I quit my job to hop full fledged into this thing, man. That was just how fed up I was with corporate, how bad I wanted it, how bad I wanted to, run my own shop. So, and I was just willing to take on whatever came with that, man. And man, I came across a hard time, bro. Like it was a hard patch. And this was early in the beginning. And it's a lifestyle change when you leaving, a 6-figure job to go on to start a cleaning business. And I wasn't the type that just save a lot of money. That wasn't me, man. If I got it, I'm gonna spend it. But that's how it was back at the time. So, man, I was just on hard times, man. And I quit my job right after we had our first daughter, right? So, dumb move there. Benefits, all that stuff, medical, all just out the window. It's just like, let's get this business going. I need more. So, fell on hard times, man. I was trying to buy some diapers, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I was like $2 or $3 short, and I didn't even have $2 or $3 to buy my daughter some diapers, bro. And I'm in the damn, I had too much pride then, to ask anybody for money. So um, I'm like, damn, did I make the right move? Did I make the right decision? So you get these things going through your mind mentally, and you like, damn, I fucked up. I should have kept my job and tried to build it on the side or something like that. So I always reflect back to that, man. And I was in the aisle, in the store. I was in the aisle, dude, and tears started to shed down my eye because I was like $3 short. I'm like, bro. And what it was I was waiting on an invoice to be paid. And so it's like I got money. I got $270 coming. Like I just don't
Like,
know when.
don't know when it's coming.
You know what I mean?
He was
So,
on the way.
bro, so I'm like, these efforts did not pay the invoice, you know. And that was when I first got in the game, you know, on the residential side. I didn't know about holding their card, you know, or some people take the payment up front or half the payment up front. I didn't even do deposit. This when I first got in the game. I just
Mm-hmm.
expected people to pay when the services is rendered, you know,
Yep.
and I leave the house, you know, I gotta go on to my next one. So I ain't got time to be so
Yeah, chasing behind the money you supposed
yeah,
to give me.
chasing behind money. I just thought people would just automatically send it, bro. And then I was calling and not answering the phone because they were at work, you know, and they couldn't answer the phone at work. And it was just something as simple as they were at work and they
Yeah.
didn't, you know, they just didn't pay. It wasn't that they weren't going to pay or didn't have, you know. So it was stuff like that I didn't even know about. I'm like, God damn. So I said, we got to fix this quick. So after that, start doing deposits. You know, start doing deposit. Everybody got to put down a deposit if you want to book the appointment and all that type of stuff, man. So cash flow issues are common, man, and even you know at high levels of income, you know there can be cash flow issues. And I'm
Absolutely.
glad that I did have the experience in corporate because those same guys that I was in, you know, boardrooms with, you know, meeting with who had these huge companies that they built, even they have cash flow issues.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when I was in sales at ADP, the payroll company, you know, I saw some of everything. You know, it was that was like the number one small business problem was cash flow. Like, hey, we need this amount of cash, right? We have this amount of cash coming in from our clients, but it comes in at different times, and we have this many, you know, this much in expenses, and this has to go out. We
Yeah.
got payroll that has to go out
Has
at this time.
has to.
But this may not go out at the same time that those invoices are coming in. So we have
Yep.
to be able to fill the gaps. So
Manage that.
that's one of the things that actually kept me going. So I'm like, look, when I was talking to all those $100 million companies and, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, $70 million companies, and they had cash flow issues, I
Yeah. So
can't
you
beat
just
myself
like
up.
you can't be beating yourself up when
It's a
you're
part
a
of
small
business.
business. Like
That's
yeah,
a
of
part of
course.
business. That's a small businesses, and I hate the term small business, but essentially that's where we are. You know, that's one of the
Well, yeah,
biggest
that's
problems
because
with
big
cash flow.
business in America means you're making $200 million.
Right,
You know, so like,
right, exactly,
like yeah,
exactly.
cool. Yeah,
Under
I'm
that, you
definitely a
small
small
business.
business. Yeah, like yeah, I
Yeah,
don't make 200 M's, my guy. I can't.
right,
Like I haven't got there yet. No. So yeah,
exactly.
still small
Yep.
business. Hey,
So,
small business is not like the
mhm,
official qualification is under 10 million is still a small. Like
yeah,
anybody under 10 million is a small business.
yep,
That's everybody, bro.
right.
That's like six people
That's
over
like
10 million.
90% of businesses. Yep. Yeah, man. But that was a time, man. That was a time that I would never forget, bro. I will never forget that situation, man. I
Yeah,
definitely
that I
wanted to
mean,
give up.
cash flow. Speaking of cash flow issues, like I I started it from a very difficult place, but I think it taught me so much, and it really cemented the way that I do business in a good way that I didn't even realize it was at the time that I was kind of getting started, starting from being homeless and started from having absolutely no real financial education or financial literacy. Uh, I've never had cash flow issues. Like I've been lucky in that sense, but I think it's because I started as a homeless man. Like well, obviously I can't. I already don't have cash. I can't have cash flow issues because I don't have any cash to start off with. And so, and my personal finance journey began at the same time as my business finance journey. And so I began applying the same strategies and concepts to my business finances as I did to my personal finances at the same time. I kind of knew from the beginning, all right, we're gonna separate the business and personal. I'm gonna manage them both the same way. And before then, I was never big on saving money. I literally never saved a dime in my life up until I started my business and I got my first client. And then from there, I kind of following. I don't know if have you ever heard of Dave Ramsey?
Hmm.
Dave,
Yeah.
yeah, so I started following like Dave Ramsey because I was like deeply in debt, and that's all I could really think about. And he was really big on like getting people out of debt. I don't agree with everything Dave Ramsey says about debt, but I do like when if you the less you can have, the better. To be honest with you, I'm not saying go completely zero debt and have no cut up your credit cards like he does, but like if you can get rid of as much debt as you can, it's gonna make it easy for you. You don't have those payments going out, you can apply for, you're gonna get approved for things a little bit easier and things like that. So, but I was big on in the beginning, saving money, having that emergency fund, and having that big stack of cash reserves to fall back on. And so all of my businesses and every business that I've started ever since then have been cash positive, except for this tech company, which is draining my pockets right now. This app is draining my pockets right now because tech is just a little bit different. tech, you always kind of start in the red, but service businesses, any other service that I provide, we've always been in the black, starting day one, especially in janitorial. I've gotten paid up front because I had to. Like, I didn't have any choice. I had to get paid up front, otherwise I don't eat. So, but I've kept that structure of my business in all of my businesses throughout, and that's something that's been, blessed to be able to say, is that we've never had any like cash flow issues. Even after COVID, we lost 70% of our business. I was still able to keep people on for probably three or 4 months. It just with no work, everyone was still able to just have paychecks for 3 months without, during COVID. Yeah, that put a dent in the savings, but we had a savings. So that's the thing, is that we had money, and I think I think that's something that bigger companies can start to learn from people who don't have the option to use their credit, or don't have the option to use their leverage in order to get themselves out of sticky situations. I just think it's just too close to going out of business. Having zero money, having zero cash is too close to not being in business for me. And so
Right.
I don't want to risk getting that close to losing my business. So I always keep a fat stack of cash in whatever I'm doing. Like now, like it I'm realizing how weird it is, because of like I started this tech company with my brother-in-law. So now we kind of get a peek in to see how each other manages money and manages finances. And he's even seen, like, I keep a fast stack of cash. Like, like as money comes in, there's part of it that goes somewhere that goes into a dark hole that we never touch, like that we never ever touch. And so
Yep.
he's like, "We got money in the account." And I'm like, "No, we don't. The account's empty." I'm like, "No, we got thousands." I'm like, "That's not money.
Right.
That's not emergency. Something happens.
Something
That's
else.
where that comes from." But
Yeah.
that's because I have an emphasis on sales. That new money always solves a problem. If you can sell
Always.
new money, you can solve most problems with some
Yep.
new money.
With
So
some new money. Every problem you have in your cleaning business can be solved with a new client.
yep, get that new big client, and you're good.
Yep.
Figure it out from there. Figure it out with some more money in your pocket. Oh, so let's see. So what do you think has worked the best for you in terms of your cleaning business? What's really worked? What's some of the things that's really worked for you?
Um, that's a good question. I feel like what's worked for me. I'm gonna reverse engineer this a little bit and say
Hmm.
what didn't work, because when I found out what didn't work, that's when I found out what was working. I'm like, oh,
Absolutely.
okay, so that was working. One of the things that I noticed that was an issue was I wasn't communicating with my team enough, and I assumed too much, right? So, um, when I was younger, I don't know if you guys know the saying of, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, right?
Mhm.
And that's
Yep, yep.
exactly what I was doing. I assumed, just like when I moved from when we moved from Chicago to Dallas, and I assumed that the team would, take ownership in the accounts, and it was just gonna flow without me being there, right? So
Hmm.
that was sort of my leadership style, because I'm not a micromanager. I explain things and I feel like I explain them one time, but I have to understand that people need to be led, right? And as a leader, it's my job to be a leader. I have to lead. I have to show them, which may include physically showing them, which may include, communicating. And I may have to say the same thing more than one time, or just be a little bit more communicative. Or it may not even be a process thing. It may not even be something where it's like, this is how this is done. Maybe it's just a check on them. Hey, how you doing? How's your week going? How your mama know?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just to know that you're there and it's not always business. So I had to
Yep.
learn that. So I wasn't doing that at first, and I think my wife is the one who actually told me that. She said, like, do you only reach out when when there's bad going on? And I had to think about it. I'm like, you know what? I think you're right. So you really have to change at every level. You have to be willing, and you have to be open enough and secure with yourself as a business owner enough to take advice. You have to always be willing to get better. You have to
Yeah.
know that you don't have all the answers. So I would
Yeah,
say
people,
what's
some people
working
have this
for
like
me.
that star syndrome, that star character syndrome, where they think that they're already perfect, so it cuts off
Right.
their willingness to be moldable, and you can't be
Yeah.
molded into the person that you should be in order to be able to run that business.
100%, bro. And I think when you ask me that question, what's working for me? I feel like what's working is me being able to be coachable, right?
Yep.
And I'm a leader. This is coming from a leader now, because I have to still learn, because every level is a new devil. So, when I was at $5,000 a month, I had $5,000 a month,
Problem.
problems. But
Yep.
$5,000 a month problems are way different than $30,000 a month problem. $30,000 a month problem way different from $1,000,000 a year problem. You know what I mean? So it's you have to, if you're not open to change and open to understanding, how to solve problems, because that's all we do as business owners. We're problem solvers. We're solving these clients' problems. So if you're not open to understanding and pinpointing problems inside of your business, then a lot of things could go wrong,
Oh yeah.
So that's what kind of excites me, is like, damn, this is another problem I gotta solve, and it's not even a damn client; it's within my own operation, you know. So, but it's exciting, man, and you learn a lot and you grow, and that's another one of those things where you build character.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I would say that that is huge for me.
Yeah, that was something I had to work on too. Is my like not only just communication, because I was really good with business communication, but realizing that once I realized we are in a business that's more about people than it is about process. Like, yeah, the process is important, and you have to have process and standard procedure, but your recruiting company basically, like, that's most of your job. It's not hard to convince people they need cleaning. They know they need cleaning. It's hard to find people to clean. It's harder to find people to clean, and so you're like it's more important that your relationships with your employees are really good as well, and that you have something that lets them know that this company or this person or this owner actually gives a shit about my well-being. And when you don't do that, you those are the companies that end up having the high turnover rates, employees quitting all the time, even if it's a good job and you pay, like, there's still have people leaving. And that's what I couldn't understand. I was like, I pay the most in the city and I still have people in and out of my company. Like, what am I doing wrong? And I had to learn that lesson on my own, and start paying attention to the people that actually work. And that's kind of one of the things that triggered me, learning Spanish, because I had a lot of Hispanic workers. And so I was like, if I'm going to talk to them, let me at least show them I'm trying to get to their level. And so I learned Spanish to talk to a lot of my employees. I started to figure out what it was in their like day-to-day life that I could do. Like, I had one young lady. She was a really huge WNBA fan, really Seattle Storm fan, and she would go to this before WNBA was popular whatsoever. We bought her season tickets to the Storm, because she was a huge Storm fan, and I just wanted to make sure that we retained her as an employee and that we kept her happy. And then she stayed with us, for a whole nother year when she was thinking about leaving. And when we did that for her, she decided to kind of stay for a whole nother year and was able to take her family to her, Storm games. That's all she really wanted out of life, was to be able to just afford to be able to go to Storm games. And I'm like, oh shit, you like. At the time, it wasn't a big purchase. We're talking, this was like $300 something. We're not talking like a crazy amount of money. But to retain an employee that was a superstar employee, like, that was a no brainer. But I wouldn't have been able to come to that, find that solution, had I not spent the time and talked and try to get to know your employees on a personal level. And everything is not always just business. It had kind of you have to show that you actually care about people in order for them to care about what it is that you got going on, or whatever the mission is of your company. So that's huge.
Yeah.
I definitely had to go through that as well.
Yep.
So, what is your favorite aspect of this business? What would you say is your favorite aspect of business?
I think my favorite aspect is learning how other companies, because I'm a big advocate for business in general, and
Yeah.
I like to dissect how companies actually operate, how they run. I did that in corporate, and it actually kind of hindered me, because it crippled me, because anytime I would get into a new company, I would look and see how they make money. I would
Yep.
just dissect the whole business. And in one of my pharmaceutical jobs, I was like, I came up with a solution that'll, like, get get this specific department like way more, like 10x their revenue from what they were doing, because I saw a hole in a certain process. I'm like, there's a big ass leak right here. Y'all just did this, invested this much money, you will never have this fucking problem again. You know, and that's how I am because I think that way. You know, problem
Yeah.
solving, and I think the problem solving aspect is fun for me. Sometimes it can be stressful, but I think what I like the absolute most is bringing on new clients, man, and just prospecting and the chase. I love the chase, bro. I
Yeah,
love the
yeah,
chase. You know, meeting new clients, and maybe it's a different industry that we haven't serviced before. You know, bringing that on and see what their specific challenge is in their industry.
the
You know,
process.
and now I just learned something. So it's education all the way around.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's
Process.
the fun part: meeting new people, building new relationships. You know, even bringing on subcontractors and seeing them grow and you know, teaching them whatever I could teach. And man, it's a wealth of gratitude and you know, humility that comes along with running a cleaning business, man. So
Yeah.
and I'm here for all of it, bro.
I love it. And I know you are, but I really want to highlight some of the things that you said, or highlight all of what you said, honestly, to my audience. Notice that this man did not say he likes dripping out his lady in the finest clothing, even though I'm sure he does that. He didn't say, making sure he spoils his daughters and give them everything that they ask for, or that they even blink at, which I'm sure he does. But that's not what he's focused on in this business. Man is in love with the process. You need to fall in love with the process of running this business. He didn't even say he likes when that check comes and and the money clears in his bank account. That's not it. That is not it. You have to fall in love with the process, with the work, with the doing the work in this business. That's what you have to fall in love with. If you can do that, then you will be successful. If you can fall in love with the learning, the learning where the concepts are, learning where the business, where learning how to problem solve. If you can fall in love with that process, then that is what brings success. That is what brings the ability to drip out your lady, or put your kids in nice schools, or move from Dallas to Chicago, or buy the new crib in the new area, or whatever it is that you need to do. That stuff comes from falling in love with the process, not in love with the outcome. You can't fall in love with that shiny object that may come, or may not come. You have to fall in love with, liking the work and knowing that those things will come if you put in the work. But it's the process where you need to focus on, and that's going to make you get better at it. Like this, like he loves, like he said, his favorite aspect is bringing on new clients. That means he's going to study how to bring on new clients. That means he's actually going to put in the work to figure out how, if someone says no, how is he going to overcome that objection? Did he ask enough questions to get enough information to offer them a solution that matches their thing? I actually wanted to say that about sales. So a lot of people don't do that in sales. Like, you forget how much information you need to take in. You should be asking questions and learning everything that these people like. There's usually I have very little resistance in sales, is because by the time I give them a solution, I'm literally just repeating everything that they said they wanted. And so you sound weird if you say no now, because you just said this is what you wanted and then I'm offering it to you. So you sound really weird if you say, nah, I'm cool. Like, you're not, like, even to you, you're gonna sound weird, So but yeah, but it's in the process, man. Fall in love with the process. If you want to get to a place like 2 million a year, or 300,000, or 400,000, like this is where you need to spend your time. You need to fall in love with doing the work. If you run from the work, you might as well hide from the money. So uh so what are you up to in business? Actually, before we get into that, so if you made it this far into the podcast, thank you for listening. Go ahead and make sure you rate and review the podcast. Make sure you go to mycleaningboss.app and start your. Actually, Brandon's here, man. We're gonna do something special for the Boss family, and we're gonna let Brandon give you guys a 45-day free trial to Cleaning Boss. Let's make a promo code. Brandon, what should they type into that promo code bar in order to get your discount? What do you want them to type in?
Man, they could type in. Let's type in "win," bro.
Win. I like
Yeah,
that. Use promo code WIN from Brandon Orr to get 45 days for free of the Cleaning Boss app. Go ahead and try it. GeoFence, timekeeping for your employees, location management, so you can run your business from anywhere in the world, right from your phone. Uh, uh, Accountability features like time trial, so you can measure how with the time it takes to do any task. Photos that you can put inside of your cleaners checklist so that they can see exactly what they're supposed to be cleaning. It's an amazing resource to help you run your business from anywhere in the world. So go check out Cleaning Boss, mycleaningboss.com or mycleaningboss.app. And at the checkout, use promo code WIN to get 45 days for free. Thank you to Brandon Orr.
Let's get it. Let's win.
Also, so what are you up to in business right now? So I know that you have been helping cleaners and new and aspiring cleaning business owners to kind of get started or make strides in their business. Tell me a little bit about that. What are you up to in business these days?
Yeah, man. So just been doing a little bit of coaching. I actually tried to run away from coaching. I was doing free
I did
coaching.
the same thing. I tried to
Man,
get away
I
from it, but
did
it
not
was
want to
real.
do it. Yeah, I was doing it for free for like 2 years, just based off of just people sending messages. You know how it goes. People will send you a
Yep.
message, and people ask me for something, and questions about bidding or questions about this or that, and man, I had people, some friends that I knew from high school, asking me about stuff. They know what you're doing. When people know, and see, that's the thing, man. That's why you have to market yourself and become a brand because, um, you're the brand authority in that space, right?
Yep.
So now I still get residential. I wanted to shut the residential side down, back in Chicago, but I can't because people they know me as
They
that.
know it's
So
the way
so
it's where
you
you
know
go for it.
and we get referrals. We get referrals. We don't even market that side of the business as much as we could. But yeah, so I did create a coaching program, and it's not your typical coaching program. It's not a course. It's very intimate. I'm only taking like 5 people a month, on the program. So it's nothing that I want to grow into this like huge thing. At least that not right now, at least. But I still want to be able to help people, but I can't do it for free anymore. So this is just something to stop, just to slow down the questions a little bit.
I don't even
Um,
think that should be stated. Like everyone, like I can't believe anyone would want to like try to buy. If you're spending money and you want something to change your life, it probably shouldn't be free. Like
yeah,
like
mhm,
you should want to have
yeah,
you should want that to cost you some money. You should want to have to put in some work in order to get that in order to be able to move your life to a different level.
right,
Like building a
100%.
business, starting something, being an owner changes your life very very quickly.
Hmm.
So
It really
uh,
does.
you like whatever price you put on it, like you really couldn't argue with. So the fact
Hmm.
that this man offers it at all when he has a successful business himself, he doesn't like that means his time is valuable. So if he's offering his time, definitely go in and check out and get some guidance from someone who's an expert in sales and who has had success in this industry. If you're trying to start a cleaning business or you're trying to grow a cleaning business, go and learn from a sales expert, so a cleaning business expert, someone who's been in this industry, someone who's seen the things that you are about to come into contact with and can guide you through them, man. So where can they find you? Where can they reach out to you?
Man, they could hit me on Instagram, man, at Dreams Into Motion, and the into is just the letter N and the number two. Dreams Into Motion, and
At
that's where they can find me.
and what was the other one?
That's it. That's where they find me, right there.
Yep, yep. IG Dreams into Motion. My guy, my guy. So before we get out of here, I want to we can wrap this up and get to the towards the end of this. Give me one big win that you've had in your cleaning business. Something that stuck out over the history. Give me one big win.
Man, one big win was shoot time, bro. Like I get time back in my life. Um, and what that allows me to do is spend time with my girls, in corporate at the level that I was at, I was either going to be traveling or stuck at the office, right? So it was been a lot of missed recitals, dance recitals, and just not being there. And I didn't want that because I know how that feels. So I didn't want that for them. So the best thing that this business could have ever given me is time back in my life. Granted, there are some days, maybe some weeks, and maybe some months,
Yeah,
but I still have control over that.
yeah. You
And,
choose to.
it's for the greater good. So
Yeah, bro.
I,
I
I
love that.
definitely appreciate the time that's been given back in my life because I'll never be able to get it back.
Oh yes, man, it's been incredible. Like that is the biggest difference in the lifestyle that I've noticed of the people. Like
Hmm.
I during the day I have nothing to do because no one else is around. Everyone's at work.
Bro,
Everyone's at work.
yeah,
It forces me to do things like this. It's middle of the day, Monday or whatever. We're on
right.
a podcast in the morning. Like early in the morning. Most people
Yep.
are hustling, bustling to work and going to clock in and stuff like that. And I usually don't even have anyone to talk to during the day because
I know.
because I have this freedom of time. I've just went to my kids' school. I've checked into my daughter's school so many
Yep.
times this year. It's not even funny. Like they think I go there. So
Right.
but like it's
That's
just that freedom of time is just so beautiful. Like I get to do whatever I want, and I get to. It's even more. What's funny is you would think it would make you want to relax all day and not do anything, but it really just pushes you harder. Like I have
it
all this time
does.
I can put. I can put more effort into my business. I can actually
Mhm.
do more work. Like we don't free ourselves up to not do anything. We
Yeah.
free our time so we can choose what we're doing with our time. So we can choose to. My daughter needs me. Boom! I can. There's nothing keeping me from. There's no hesitation. I get to go wherever she needs me at whatever time. If my company needs me, boom! I get to go there and do whatever. It doesn't matter what the time is or what day of the week it is. And I don't have to check in with anybody or what have you. You know, and also the ability something happens to my family in a different like you have that same thing. I'm sure you have that. You have family in Chicago still.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Yep.
something happens to some family member or they need you. You gotta hop on a flight and hop. I'm the same way. I gotta hop on a flight to
Yep.
Louisiana. I'll be leaving in a couple weeks to go down there for some birthday parties and stuff. My brother's birthday is on 4th of July, so happy birthday, Ashton. But yeah, but that
Birthday.
type of stuff, having that freedom, that time freedom is so like it's better than money. Like I was
Yeah.
okay once I wasn't homeless. Once I wasn't homeless, I was good.
Mhm.
Then when I freed my time and I wasn't homeless, you couldn't tell me I wasn't freaking Bill Gates around here.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
really don't care how much money you make, bro. Like I wasn't even at 6 figures yet, but I didn't have to work and I could pay my rent. And
Yeah.
you couldn't tell me I wasn't rich.
Right.
Like if you couldn't tell me, I was like, bro, I don't care how much money you have in your pocket, bro. You got to go to work to pay your bills. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Right. Exactly. That I tell
I was
people
like,
that
I
all
get
the
to sit
time.
down.
I
I
tell
can
people
sit
that
down and I
all
can
the
text
time,
somebody
man.
and my bills will get paid. I'm cool.
Yeah. Yep.
And
It's
now it's at a crazy level where now I get to invest into other things. I get to start other companies. I get to bring on other people and help them chase their dreams and stuff
yeah.
like that. And so it definitely is an amazing thing. And the
Mhm.
time aspect is number one. It's hard to beat
That's
that.
number
That
one, man.
the most valuable unrenewable resource that we can have is time.
Seriously.
And get
Yeah,
it back. And
seriously.
you only got one of these lives.
It's for real. That was the biggest thing for me. I'm like, God, I thought it was gonna be the money. I thought it was like money, money, but it's like the
Definitely think it's going to be the
time,
money. It's
bro.
hard to
The
tell people
time.
that it's not the money who don't have it, but
I was like, wow. So this is what it was still new to me. I'm like,
yep.
wow. So now, like you said though, but that makes you want to grind even harder, man. And like
Mm-hmm.
if I don't get nothing done, like in the day, if I don't get anything accomplished, if I have a goose egg day, like I'm pissed off. I feel guilty. Like I'm
Yeah, yeah.
the next day I'm going extra hard, and that's why I
Nuts. Yeah,
tell my people like
great.
get some numbers on the board, like do something. I don't care if you
Put
make
some
one,
scores up.
just something, get something on the board.
Put some on the board. Yeah,
Mhm.
because like I'm starting this coaching group where I'm doing a group of people getting together and we're kind of gonna do the more numbers like team attack to everybody's business and that's one of the things that we're heavily going to focus on is these numbers. You got to put scores up on the board. Like you can't
Got
tell me that you didn't get any business if you didn't tell anybody you have a cleaning business. Like if you didn't ask anybody to clean their building, you didn't you
Yeah.
didn't do anything.
Man, the
And if you
worst
ask
thing that I see,
people,
the worst thing I see is people who have cleaning business. Then you go to either their Instagram, you go to their socials, and it's not mentioned nowhere on their socials. I'm like, is it a secret business? Like, what? Where's
bro,
this
you keep
hidden
it
business?
secret. You hiding it
Like,
from people. You don't want nobody to
right?
know.
So I'm like, why is it not listed? Oh, I get it. You want to put your little nice pictures on here, which is great, great. But now, the moment you choose to be a business owner, you're a business owner everywhere you go,
Everywhere you go.
every platform you on. As soon
Mhm.
as you step out the door, me and my wife just closed. So my wife was at a doctor's appointment, and I was not about to go, and I went with her anyway. I said, "All right, I'm gonna go." The doctor asked, "What do you do?" I clean places
Funny you ask,
just I clean places just like the one we're in right now.
right?
You know what I mean? He was like, "Do you?" Caught him at a good time. You know what I mean? So you got to open your mouth, whether it's verbally, in the physical, in person, and online, because everything online is the new TV now. That's where everybody at. So you
Yep, yep,
literally can run a commercial on your own webpage. To run a
yeah.
commercial on TV used to cost shit hundreds of thousands back in the day.
Like
And now
people
you
don't
get
people
to
have it
you get
backwards.
to
They got it ass. I got into an argument on Facebook with somebody who was like, on the media side on my nine media on my marketing company, and they're like, my TikTok got 3 million views and they didn't pay me, and I'm like, yeah, $3 million and they didn't pay you. you should be paying them. Like they put you in front of 3 million people and you didn't sell nothing. That's on
Yeah,
you, bro. But they put you in
yeah,
front of 3 million people. That type of distribution costs tens of thousands of dollars in
right,
any other traditional media. So you got it backwards. The fact that you got 3 million views and some other people got paid,
right,
that don't got nothing to do with you. Like
right,
understand what it is you're doing. Like this is free reach. You get
right.
to talk for free. You cannot do that.
Better
And
find something to sell.
for me to send a message to everybody, that costs money. Like if I was gonna put a message on everyone's door, those cost money. Like, you got to
Exactly.
give this message, whatever it is that you do, and put it in front of millions of people for free. The chance, even organic content, it may not always get a million views, but it has the opportunity
Hmm.
to get in front of more people, and that's free reach. So if you're
Yep.
not doing social media, you're not letting people know who you are online.
You are.
You're missing out on a huge opportunity, and very soon you're going to be left behind because after a while, like a lot of this, I don't think traditional media is going to die, but I think business results are definitely going to dwindle from traditional media, and most of the business results, even I think already, are coming
Hmm.
from online. Excuse me,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, they are. Yep.
absolutely. So if someone wanted to start on their journey and end up in a similar place to where you are, what advice would you give them to kind of get started? What would you tell them to do to kind of get themselves out there?
Cleaning wise or just business
Yeah,
wise in
in
general?
the cleaning business, like to kind of
The
like to
cleaning
get to
business?
where you are. What's kind of some of the biggest things, I guess, in life or in business at all? Like if
Yeah.
someone wants, I want to be like Brandon Norton when I grow up. Where do I get started?
I hate that. I always hate that question, man. I don't want nobody to be like me, but be better than me. But that's a good question, man. But I would have to say is just have clarity around what you want your life to look like, right? So paint a picture of your life. Like seriously, paint that picture. What do you want to live? What type of neighborhood do you want to live in? What type of car you want to drive? What type of school you want your kids to go to? You know, just paint that picture, man. Because it's funny how when we dream as kids and we have these ideas of what we want to be, and then once we start getting a taste of life, and then we start let those dreams go, and that's where I came up with the name, dreams into motion.
I like
So,
it.
and I think a lot of people as adults, I think we feel like we can't dream anymore because we're grown now, but you still can dream. But now as an adult, you actually have to put it in motion, right? So I would say it starts upstairs first. That's why the book is called Think and Grow Rich, and not just
Yep,
grow rich. You actually have to think. So I would say write those down, man. Like write your dream, like paint that picture, dude. Like I used to go test drive cars, bro. I still go drive by mansions, like huge
bro.
mansions.
I thought I was crazy.
Motivated.
I thought I was the only person who did that, bro. Like, you don't understand. Like, if you go to rent, I
Yeah,
don't know if you still do this, but I used to go to rent.com and they would have like where you would pay $1 and you could get the key to go look around the house. Like if
I
you were like you
definitely
would pretend
know
like if
about
you
that.
were buying a house, you went to rent.com, there were certain houses you can go to that were in like the really nice ones, and they didn't want to come and do a showing for everybody. So they would have a lockbox on those doors, and if you paid $1 to the website, then you get the lockbox code or whatever. It's obviously all on camera and whatnot. But I would go and I would
Right.
pretend to be in the market for a mansion, and I would go and get that lockbox code, and I would just go and walk around these mansions and just see the insides and imagine like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have my office right here, or I'm gonna have this right here. I'm gonna set up my pool table over here, and I would do that same type of dreaming, like, and I would just go around the Seattle houses that were on the market. I would do the same thing. I would go to the car shops and be like, I want this car. I'm gonna drive this car. Go test drive it. I'm like, yeah, this feels like me. This is me right here. Then I just envision myself there, and then immediately
Hmm.
once I get out of that fantasy land, I'm I'm back on my computer
For real.
cooking. Like you can't pull me away from my computer. Like
Yep.
you see
Hmm.
screen tan on my face. I'll be at the computer so long.
Yeah. Yep.
But
100%. You hit it on the head, bro. You hit it on the head.
just
That's
visualizing,
some
man.
very,
You got to visualize, keeping it in
you
front
got
of
to
you, keeping
visualize.
understand what the
Yep.
mission is.
You gotta go, man. You have to drive that car because
Yep.
it's different. Like you could save it as your screen, save it on your phone, whatever you want. But until you in that, you sit and you
Touch it.
in that position and you're in that car, or you drive by that house and you're able, you like pull in a driveway as if it changes your mind because it's hitting
Mhm.
other senses now.
Yep.
It's really triggering, and now
Yeah.
you
You
get to
know what it
actually
smells like. You know what
visualize.
it's. Mhm.
Yeah. So now it's like, oh shit, I gotta have it. You
Yeah,
motivated, you
gotta
pumped. It's like I gotta have it. I gotta have it. And at that point, you're gonna be those no's that you thought about, or that doubt that you had, or that
have it.
fear that you had. All that shit goes out the window now
Go.
because you locked in on what you really
Yeah,
want
you
now.
locked in. Like,
Oh,
bro,
I
I
didn't
don't
got
care.
a taste of it.
You, not you.
Oh
All right,
yeah.
next.
You didn't got a taste already. Now it's like a. I ain't gonna go that route. But say it's like a pass out in the drug game. In the drug game, you're gonna try everything you can to get that feeling back. So but yeah, man, that's what it is, bro. And just being having an unwavering, mindset to the point to where nobody could talk you out of it, because you get doubters, you get naysayers, you get dream stealers, you get people who got a good job and they want to talk down to you about, cleaning toilets, and they got to get up and go to work every morning. If you have the mental toughness to be able to block all that out and don't care what people think, don't care what people say, and stop trying to be the freshest person and look like you got it. Like I don't give a damn. I was at a wedding. I'm gonna tell this story, and that's it. I was at a wedding, right? And it was like a dress down wedding, and I was in the drink line, and everybody fresh. I just had on a little button up, some shorts and white. It was that type of wedding where you could like wear shorts, and I had on some shoes. And somebody said something about my shorts, like, why you dressed like Mark Zuckerberg or somebody, one of the guys.
No, they didn't
What's
give it
wrong?
to you like that.
They got the little bitty shorts on. I'm like, man, my shorts just fitted. What's wrong with my shorts, man? I'm like, I thought I was straight. Then somebody, I guess, had overheard that. He said, "Man, that man made 30 grand last month." I'm like, "Don't be putting my business out there like that."
Somebody
And
out there
then
like,
what happened was, like two, three, four people in the line with us turned around. So it's like all eyes on me. I'm like, "Oh shit," you know what I mean? And then what happened was it opened the door for conversation about the cleaning business industry, and people didn't even know you can make that amount of money. I'm like, bro, I'm barely scratching the surface. I know guys making 80. I know guys making 1 million. I know guys making 2, 3, 4, 10 million, 20 million. I
I've
just,
seen it across the gambit.
you see
It's
what I
like, this
mean?
ain't my shit, fam. Like, phew, I've seen some people bring it home.
Yeah,
Man,
man, that's
the guy
people.
down in Seattle who was on the Upflip channel not too long ago. I think he was on the Upflip channel like 2 years ago with his
Oh yeah,
cousin
yeah,
out here. Man, this man is doing $30 million a
yeah,
year. I'm
yeah,
like, every month this man is making multiple millions of dollars in his
yeah,
pocket. Like, that's wild. I was
yeah.
like, man, I was like, I am nowhere. I was like, I thought I was cooking when I was seeing my little $150,000 month or
Right.
$200,000 a month. I thought I
Yeah,
was killing it, man. This man's over here raking in 7 whole figures
yeah.
every month. So it's
Every month, dude. That's
unlimited
crazy.
potential in this building, man. Like,
It
so
is.
however big you want to get, you can get there, man. In this
Mhm.
business, so I believe in it the most. Uh, uh, what is what's next in business for you, man? Lastly, what are the goals? What is Brandon Orr up to? Where is he going in the future? Where do you see yourself in the next 5, 10 years or so? What's next for you?
Yeah, man. My passion for business, man, is never gonna die now, man. So my wife and I, we also have we have a bounce house company. So
Nice.
we actually started that after the cleaning business. Cleaning business
Nice.
actually helps you to start other businesses. So
I'm in
we
the
have a
media
bounce house
studio right
company.
now, paid for by my cleaning business. So I
Right.
trust me, I know.
Mhm. So, and I'm glad you asked, because my wife and I, we had a meeting the other day, and we're just trying to decide what route do we want to still grow that out or phase it out. As we move to Chicago, I think we're doing so well in it. I don't think we're gonna, kind of phase that out, but
I think your
automate
dad
it.
will do pretty well in Chicago.
Yeah, yeah, possibly automate it a little bit more and scale it more. Um, but real estate, my wife is a real estate agent, real estate broker. So we definitely want to get in the game in that sense,
Yeah.
and acquire some properties and
Yeah. I
assets
might have
and
to
that.
reach out to y'all and get some
So
property out towards y'all way because real estate over here in Seattle is ridiculous, man. It is
yeah,
ridiculous. If you look at the
really,
housing market out here, it is terrible, bro. Like
really.
yeah, pay
Oh,
$2 million for a bungalow out here. It's ridiculous. It's just,
wow,
it's crazy out here, man. It's nuts. I hate the real estate market out here. It's
wow. Yeah,
freaking
West Coast
terrible.
a little different, man.
Yeah, West Coast is Oh, I can't wait to get out of this motherfucker. It is
Yeah,
wild right now. They want
yeah,
arm and a leg for shacks out here. It's nuts.
yeah, yeah. We get a ton of people here moving to Dallas from LA, Vegas, all type of
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah. So,
yeah,
but yeah,
they
man. So that and just speaking, man. Speaking. Um, I would love to grow that part out. Speaking, and I used to speak back in the day to at risk teens.
Hey,
So
well, Cleaning Boss is doing a national conference in October, man. We'd love to have you on stage, man. We'd love to have you come and share your uh, share your wealth and knowledge with the Cleaning Boss community on stage live at our conference in October. It's going to be in New Orleans. I haven't started advertising or putting it out there yet, but if speaking is something that you want to do, we would be absolutely honored to have you on stage. I know I had the pleasure of being able to see you on stage when we both spoke at CBN conference earlier this year. So I know that you have the skill set and the knowledge to do a good job and some value that the community can definitely benefit from. So if that's something that you're interested in, we can definitely chop it up more about that off camera.
yeah, I definitely appreciate the invite, man. I love to speak, man, and I love to connect with industry colleagues, and I love it, man. I love to have a good time, love to keep people laughing, and as you saw at the CBN conference, man,
Oh yeah,
I
I
added
got
I add a little comedy to it, man. Just to lighten the
absolutely
mood up,
enjoyable.
man.
Yeah, incredible to watch, man. You guys definitely gotta if you have a chance to see this man on stage, and if you don't, if we can get him, if there's anything we can do to get him on stage for our conference in October in New Orleans, and we'll definitely try to have him come out there and show y'all what he can do, man. He's an incredible speaker and an incredible person to watch on stage. But we're slowly wrapping it up, man. We're gonna let out the outro, play in the background a little bit as we just kick it. I appreciate y'all, boss family, man. Thank you guys for watching the podcast, listening to the podcast. Do not forget to rate and review. If you are on any of those podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, or any of that stuff, make sure you rate and review the podcast. Leave us 5 stars. It really, really helps us out a lot. It's one of the best things you can do if you really want to support the channel. You really want to support the podcast. Make sure you rate and review. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Obviously, one of the best things you can be doing for your business is be on a continuous learning journey. And that means subscribing to channels like this, full of entrepreneurs who are doing exactly what you want to be doing. So, subscribe to the channel, continue your learning journey. And I love y'all, man. Appreciate it. Thank y'all for watching. You guys are the realest cleaning business community on the internet. Thank you to Brandon Orr for coming and sharing his knowledge with us and sharing his game with us. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here, and hopefully we get to have you back soon. But love y'all, boss family. There he is. Appreciate you, big dog, man. Thank you so much for hopping on with me. Yeah, and once again, tell the people where they can find you find you online if they want to reach out to you and connect with you.
On IG at Dreams Into Motion.
Yeah, y'all go check them out.
DREAMS into motion.
Yep, check them out, man. Sales expert in this cleaning industry. Go and check them out, man. Love y'all. Keep that boss mentality. Peace.